Hey lovies, so if you guys are Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, this is going to be your reading to see what your love life is going to be like in April. Right off the bat, I just want to say that this is more of a, like, if you're unhappy with the state of your love life reading, how you can fix it kind of a reading. So the first thing I'm going to do is get an animal card to kind of see what your current energy is. And then I'm going to get one of these cards to see what you're attracting now, like what your vibe is kind of like manifesting for yourself. And then we're going to ask a few questions to see how you can kind of, like, any issues or patterns that are kind of getting in the way of you having like your ideal love life, whether you're single or in a relationship that's not going the best. So if you're in like the happiest relationship of your life and everything is going great, this may not be your reading. Just to like confirm that this is more for people that are a little bit more unsatisfied with the state of things. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's get to it, Virgo, and see what is your current energy. What is Virgo's current energy? What's their vibe right now? Let's see. What is Virgo's current vibe? The earthworm. Interesting, because you are an earth sign. Oh, you know, I just realized I forgot to put on this light. Let me just put it on real quick. Okay. All right. Just like looked weird to me without it. So the earthworm. I keep hearing, like, ever since I sat down to shuffle and do your reading, I keep hearing this song in my head. It's by Joss, J-O-S-S, Joss Stone. It's called Right to Be Wrong. I don't know. It's like literally, I haven't even heard that song in a minute, but it's like playing in my head right now. All right, so let's see what you're manifesting. Maybe the song will relate. We'll see. Okay. Safe home. Number 39. I feel like this could be connected to the Pisces reading because, so you might want to watch that even if you don't have Pisces in your chart. I don't know, because this card came out and this card in that reading. And honestly, even that song, Right to Be Wrong, I feel like it could be a similar message. So the earthworm, I'm going to read it from the book, but I just kind of feel a vibe of like, just the way that earthworm is kind of like curled up in on itself of, I don't know, kind of being afraid to like expand out in a certain way. Let me just see. What's on the bottom of the deck? The swan. Okay, the earthworm. Shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision. Yeah, it's like you keep a lot of stuff bottled up inside. So if you are in a relationship, it's like maybe you're afraid to put yourself out there and speak your feelings or speak your mind. This safe home is making me think that I cast a circle roundabout, and even this earthworm, it's like circled, like curled up on itself, keeping stuff inside. Safety now is beyond doubt. It's like, I don't know, like if you don't know how what you're gonna say is gonna be received, how your feelings are gonna be received, it's like safety beyond a doubt is your main concern. Also, Archangel, I was thinking about Archangel Gabriel. I don't know why, like before I started this reading, I have this like snow globe, and I was like literally like, oh, I almost like put it as the center of the reading because I felt, and then 39 is like a number I associate with Archangel Gabriel. So I just think it's weird that that came out too. So, and that's all about speaking up and sharing. Archangel Gabriel is like the throat chakra. So I feel like there could be something about that, but let's just read from the book and see. Shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision. We have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder, excuse me, not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. When in balance, it's earnest, intelligent, and valuable. And when out of balance, self-conscious and apprehensive. Yeah, self-conscious. And it says to bring into balance, speak up and risk embarrassment. Yes, like there's something about that where you're like afraid to like speak up, maybe speak your feelings to people. And this could be something that is manifesting in your love life, but it could also be kind of like a pattern you have with like other people that you deal with on a daily basis. Like especially people, like I'm not talking about like maybe like your family and like your, but maybe your friends and your coworkers and things like that, where it's almost like if you feel upset about something, you like bottle it up. I feel like you could be a bottler. And it's like almost like you don't want to rock the boat. And I feel like you could be the kind of person that like you bottle things up and then it does end up coming out like exploding, and then it seems like super dramatic or something like that. But it's like if you had just kind of like learned how to like speak your mind in a more calm way, like you wouldn't have all that bottled up emotions exploding out. So that's just like the first thing I'm getting. But let us see. So we're gonna see like kind of what your patterns of behavior are in love. We're gonna get one of these cards. I have like 6 questions I'm gonna ask, so for each of them we're gonna get one of these oracle cards and one tarot card for each. Yeah, and that song, like Right to Be Wrong, it's almost like, don't, like, it's the same, it's a similar message like from the Pisces reading, but it's a little bit different. But it's almost like where you're afraid to make a mistake, you're afraid to look stupid in front of people. And it said like risk embarrassment. So maybe, I don't know, you feel like there's like a spotlight on you, or you feel like people are always judging you and watching you, which could be the case. But I feel like, you know, a lot of times people think that, but when you really think about it, like, what are you most thinking about? Yourself. That's what everyone is mostly thinking about, themselves, maybe like a significant other that they like, but you're not really looking around at people like in your circle and always like, what are they doing? Like, why did they do that? Like, you know, that's kind of just like something that we get scared of sometimes. So anyway, what are your patterns of behavior in love, Virgo? Go the distance. Number 47. And then we're going to get one here. What are Virgo's patterns of behavior in love? And the Lovers. Let me just make sure where this card is. I just have to move it over, so I don't have to do it later. I just want to get it right. Okay. So go the distance and the Lovers. So I feel like this could be speaking to, if another message I'm getting now that I'm looking at this, oh, sorry if I just shook the camera, is that when you're in, sorry, I'm just drinking my coffee. When you're in a relationship, with this safe home thing, it's almost like, again, like you'll like sacrifice parts of yourself in order to like kind of keep a harmonious, and like, again, I said, I feel like that is a pattern that is in other areas of your life as well, where it's like you will make the choice to like just stuff down. You don't want to rock the boat, you want to have like a harmonious home, but then it ends up not being harmonious because like things get bottled up and then you just feel unfulfilled all the time. I feel like you're the type of person that could jump through hoops for people, and be a little bit self-sacrificing, to the point that, like, especially in a relationship where you almost like lose a part of yourself, because the way that this, I guess it's a cheetah, is like jumping, but then like parts of itself are like disintegrating away, something like that. I also feel like the way you look to other people is very important to you. Like I was saying before, like your image, I don't know, there's something about that where just because it's like go the distance, there's like this finish line. It's just making me think of like people watching like in a race or something. It's like, I feel like there's something about caring a lot about what other people think. Wanting people to think that you have like the best relationship sort of, or wanting people to think certain things about you. So let's see what else we get. Hold on, I just have to take a sip of this. Okay. Issues that need to be resolved. Yeah, there's some element of like self-sacrifice in the name of like harmony, I would say, and love. And say if you're single, this could be you kind of, I don't know, jumping through hoops again, sort of like, oh, I wasn't even asking a question, sorry. Jumping through hoops for people and just trying to prove. I think there's something here where you try to prove, especially if like the other person has issues, like you want to prove that like you will be different than the last person they were with, and you will, that's the self-sacrifice thing coming in. So it's, even if you're single and say you're like talking to somebody and you know they have trust issues, it's like you go out of your way to show them like, no, like I'm different. Almost like you try to like heal them by like, maybe not, you're not thinking about it in that way, but it's almost like I'll show you, like I'm willing to sacrifice for you, I'm willing to do all this for you just so you, but really that's stuff that they need to heal within themselves, or they need to learn how to trust, or they need to learn that, or realize like maybe that they made some mistakes in the past and they weren't discerning enough, and it's like you can't fix that for them. It's like, I feel like it's something like that. So what are some issues that need to be resolved? No place like home. There's a lot about home here. The safe home, no place like home. So that's interesting. Like, let's get the tarot card to just further clarify. But some issues that need to be resolved. I feel like I'm getting like you have a hard time going outside of your comfort zone in some way. So issues that need to be resolved. The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords with no place like home. It's like, interesting. I don't really know what to think about that. Like the no place like home, I was getting a pretty clear message. Like you have a hard time breaking outside of your comfort zone. So it's like, even if you get an idea with the Ace of Swords, like an epiphany, like, oh, I should tell this person how I feel, or I should blah, 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 like whatever it is, it's like you maybe won't act on it. It's like you just stay in your little bubble. There's a lot about staying in a bubble here. And it's like, even if you have some sort of like epiphany of like, this isn't what I want, something like that, or this isn't the way I want to be treated, it's like almost, I feel like you will kind of stuff it down in the name of like harmony and peace or something, like within a connection. Like you won't speak up. With the Ace of Swords, it's kind of about like speaking your truth. Again, there's a lot about speaking your truth. Even the Lovers, it's Gemini energy, it's about communication. And I feel as though you have a tough time communicating like authentically. Not that you're fake. I don't feel like you're fake, because I feel like you genuinely want to keep the harmony and peace, so that is stemming from a genuine place inside of you. But at the same time, if you're not, it's not like maybe the best way to go about it. Doesn't, and by that I mean it's not the best way because it leaves you feeling unsatisfied. Not that I'm trying to say like, oh, you shouldn't do that, but it's like, I feel like you don't get like emotional satisfaction a lot of the time. And it's maybe because you're afraid to speak up and let people know, hey, like this hurt me, or like, hey, like this, like, why do you feel like you can't trust me when I've done nothing, you know, to deserve that? It's like, instead you will try to like stuff it down, I feel. And just like I said, there's an element of like sacrifice here. I'm getting very strongly. So let's check in and see what your heart needs from you. And like with the Chop Wood card that's on the bottom of the deck, again, I feel like you'll just kind of keep, I'm thinking of someone just outside, like just keep chopping wood, just keep trying to like create that warmth in the relationship and create that happiness by doing things for the other person instead of like speaking up about your own needs. I feel like your needs are like the last thing on the list. I feel like you're somebody that is very much like puts their own needs to the side in the name of their partner, in the name of harmony. And like I said, I feel like this can be manifested in other areas of your life as well, like with other people. But I do feel like you could have a tendency to kind of like explode. Sorry, I wasn't asking a question. What does your heart need from you? That said peace. So let's see if that comes out again. But oh, happy, happy. Yeah, I feel like your heart needs you to kind of like be present in the moment. We have the here and now card. And just kind of take stock of how you feel in certain situations and kind of ask yourself, like, am I happy? Am I not happy in the situation? Like, and speak up if you're not. But let's see what comes out here. Because there's a lot about communicating your truth with these two cards that came out. So what does Virgo's heart need from them? And the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands, again, speaks to me of like this frustrated energy, like this kind of like ticking time bomb kind of an energy where it's like, I think your heart needs you to like acknowledge, like, am I in this happy energy? Am I in this, like, am I upset? Like, how am I, take stock of how you're feeling, like, with certain people. And I wouldn't act in anger, like, say somebody pisses you off, like, say at work. I wouldn't just react and be like, blah, 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 I'm pissed off, blah, blah, blah. But just be like, okay, like, it's like sit down and be like, oop, I feel like annoyed right now. How can I address this? Like, obviously I try, like a good rule I think is to never react in anger or act in anger. Wait till you cool down. But once you cool down, be like, hey, can we just talk about this the other day? Like, I kind of was upset. I felt like, you know, blah, 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 whatever the issue is at work. I don't know what you do for a living, or like, that's just an example. With your partner, same thing. Be like, hey, like, I just have to say, like, it really like frustrates me when I'm trying so hard to show you how much I care, but you're still like acting like you can't trust me. Like, what is this? Is this like a deeper issue? Like, do you think you can learn to trust me? Like, get to the bottom of it. Like, speak up. Like, but I think the first thing you need to do is like assess. Like, that speaking up will come later, but you need to like assess your emotions, see what's bothering you, try to figure it out. I feel like that's what your heart needs from you, is to be present, because we have that here and now, to be open to trying to understand your own emotions instead of trying to hide them. Like embrace them, let them sink in, and like just see what they're saying to you, because the emotions are the indication of like what's going on around you. And you know, so it's like, it's very important to tune into those things. And the Earthworm is like an earth card. You're an earth sign. It, you know, emotions may not be your strong suit here. You know, we have fire here, we have swords twice, so it's like, again, we don't really have a lot of water energy coming through. And you know, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. We have that coming through here with the Lovers. Like, Gemini is also ruled by Mercury. You could be a very mental kind of a person, and where you think it's better just to do this, and you think it's better, so you'll like overrule your emotions with your thoughts. But you know, that's why you end up feeling like I'm emotionally unfulfilled a lot of the time. So how can you give to your heart more? Oh, that's two, but we don't need all those. It's a little too much. How can you give to your heart more? Ooh, peace. Okay, that did end up coming out. So with the peace card, I mean, I'm going to get the clarifying tarot, but how can you give to your heart more? Is, yeah, kind of chase peace for yourself. Chase situations that like truly bring you inner peace, like in your heart. Like, not just, because I know a lot of times peace can be like, the connotation is like mental peace, but you can have emotional peace too. And I feel like that's something that you need to cultivate for yourself. Let's just see what the tarot is. How can you give to your heart more, Virgo? The Knight of Wands with peace. Yeah, again, I'm thinking of like chasing peace. And making the decision to like go after peace, like no matter if it rocks the boat, no matter if you have to like speak on some angry feelings, because the Knight of Wands can be a sort of aggressive energy. Again, we have a lot of like, we have 2 air and 2 fire here. So maybe it's, and like, you know, the fire, like the Knight of Fire was like, or the Knight of Wands or whatever, is like to me, making decisions to like act like from like that fire inside of you. So if something is like rubbing you the wrong way or doesn't feel right, it's causing you to be angry, especially because the Knight of Wands can be like an angrier, and the Five of Wands, there's like that frustrated, angry energy. And then in contrast to this Peace card, it's like your heart needs you to address things for your own sanity. I feel like things that make you upset before they get to such a boiling point, because the Knight of Wands could be like a very hot-tempered kind of a person. So I feel like that could be you. I was picking up on that from the beginning, the Five of Wands and the Knight of Wands being here. It's like that frustration comes out, and then maybe you take it out on other people, or maybe you take it out on the people that aren't even the ones causing this feeling inside of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might like sometimes use people as an emotional punching bag, like not meaning to. And then it's like you have these feelings of guilt, and you have these feelings that could be that curling up earthworm feeling. So that's something to look into. I feel like you could definitely maybe have some sacral chakra kinds of things to look into. Or maybe like the solar plexus, but there's something there that might be overactive. Like you could have some anger issues, like I just have to say. I don't know. But it's not that you have anger issues. It's just more so that you like stuff them down. And if they were like allowed to kind of come out, whether that's through journaling, like write someone a letter and then rip it up, write them a text message and then like send it to yourself and just delete it, like pretend you send it to them. Stuff like that sometimes works. You don't have to just confront every single little thing that bothers you, but like acknowledge and try to like release it in some way, you know? Go to the gym, punch a punching bag, like there's ways to get your anger out. So I'm gonna ask just 2 more questions, and then we're gonna see like basically how like taking this advice from spirit could kind of shift your energy and shift what you're manifesting. So how can you vibrate and align with love? Ooh. Imagine. But let me just see. Okay, we have the Imagine card. And then there's like a crescent moon on that card. So again, that makes me think of like incorporating more emotion into the mix. Also, this is blue, which is making me think of like the throat chakra again. But let's just see what comes out here. How can you vibrate and align with love? The Tower. Very interesting. I feel like you could have some, yeah, like there's something here about, yeah, releasing emotions again, not being afraid. With the Imagine card, I don't really know. Like, that card always confuses me, like, I'm not gonna lie. So, like, what's the question? How can you vibrate and align with love? Like, maybe you could, like, play out these scenarios in your head. You could, like, practice, what you would say to people beforehand, like have a little practice convo and just be like, okay. Or maybe even just kind of like acting it out in your head after the fact could be something that could help you to like release some of these emotions. But I feel that, and just spending more time thinking, honestly, and assessing, I really feel like that's the message now that I'm looking at this. It's like you need to take the time to pinpoint what is making you feel so angry, like I want to say, because now we have the Tower, which is Mars energy, again, that aggressive, frustrated energy. It's like we had that like 3 times in a row. The contrasts, happy, peace, and imagine. It's making me think of like John Lennon, like Imagine. And it's like maybe you can't even imagine a world where like this aggressive side to you isn't present, but I feel as though, I mean, I don't know. I feel as though like with the Tower, it's like explosions. Like you could just like go crazy on people sometimes. And it's, again, it's like this pent up energy, even this peace card, it's like there's like an egg and it's just like closed off. It's like crack that egg open and like let the stuff out, like let some air into it, because it's just not good to ever have pent up emotion, whether it's sadness, whether it's anger. It could be, I don't know. I feel like there's a need to confront people. I feel like there's a need, and not in an aggressive way. I feel like there's a need to confront people, to take some time to think about things and address the things that make you upset. I feel like you just keep it in and it ends up just like, I don't know, I'm thinking of like acid in your stomach, just like burning you up from the inside, like, and it's just not good. It seems very unhealthy to me. I'm not a doctor, I'm not saying it like that, but I just feel like a tight feeling in my stomach right now. I would look into that sacral chakra and how can you allow more love into your life. My coffee's gonna get cold. 2 cards came out, so we're not gonna take it. I just want to get one. How can Virgo allow more love into their life? Chaos and conflict. Like, what is up with this energy? It's so crazy. But yeah, I feel like don't be afraid. Okay, first of all, like, I feel like you are kind of afraid of conflict, which I know I just said you were like super aggressive, but I feel like at the point that your emotions like bubble up to the surface, it's like you don't care anymore, and then it's just like all hell breaks loose, kind of. But it's like if these things could be addressed beforehand, I just have to make sure this is in the shot. I feel like it wouldn't be so chaotic, you know? It wouldn't be such a conflict. It would just be like 2 people talking and trying to work things out. And before it got to that like kind of tower boiling point, like things could be addressed. You would feel that you at least got it off your chest. Oh my god, sorry, I just like sat down like harder than I meant to. Woo. But because look at this, what is it? I don't know, some animal. Is it like a zebra with a giraffe pattern on it? I don't know what that's supposed to be, but it's like there's like something, it's like a storm brewing inside. It's like, that's not good. It's making me think, especially even if you have issues, like, you know, a lot of times they say like you have health issues related to like whatever energy blockage you have. There's definitely energy blockages. There's like stuck energy inside of you that needs to come out. I feel like even spirit could be putting you in like tense situations to try to get you to like release it. Like that could be something like that you're noticing, that like, why am I always in these situations where people are like pissing me off and doing like shit and I just have to bite my tongue? But it's like almost that you can learn how to express yourself in a more productive way that's like conducive to like getting this anger out. Let's just, oh, okay. The 9 of Wands. It's a blocked off energy. It's like you're just stuck here in this little cage of your own making, just being angry and like wanting to strike out. But it's like you put up these blocks yourself and you're like, no, like it's better just to keep the peace. But it's like at the expense of your own peace. And I feel like this is something that, like I was saying, like now I feel like I'm more so talking about in your everyday life, but this could be coming through in relationships. This could be coming through, I feel like this is like kind of like across the board for you. As with all issues, you know, like it's always like that. And I think putting it into practice in your life with people that aren't a romantic partner, maybe beforehand, could help kind of get you comfortable doing that. So like even when you do manifest your partner, if you're single, you know, obviously it'll be different for everybody. But so when you do manifest that, you know, partner into your life, you will have more healthier like communication skills with this Gemini energy coming through, where you will feel safe to express yourself, and you will kind of have cultivated these skills of, how am I trying to say that? Like these different methods, like these different strategies. You'll have like a different strategy for when you get upset, and you'll know how to like have more effective communication with your partner. I feel like that's something that you struggle with. I feel like you're either like happy, everything's fine, or like you're exploding like this tower, like this chaos and conflict. Like there's like a storm brewing in there that needs to come out. Like that's what I would say. Oh, this is ice cold. Okay, goodbye. Oh, my dog's gonna drink it. I'll just put it over here. I don't know where to put this coffee. I'll put it right here. Okay, so let's see. If we kind of take this advice, start more effectively communicating with people, journaling, speaking on our anger, like punching a pillow, like trying to tell people when we're upset in a nice way, and maybe stop using people as our emotional punching bags if that's a thing for you, like, which I am not trying to call you out, like we all do that sometimes, like we take it out on the people closest to us, you know? I do it, you do it, they do it, everyone does it, you know? It's like, because you know they'll forgive you because they're like your people, and then it's like you can kind of like keep the peace with the other, like for instance, I'm a waitress, and like, you know, waitressing is very stressful. Sometimes you're like super busy, you have a customer being nasty to you, or just not understanding like how busy you are, and it's just like you have no idea like what pressure I'm under right now, buddy, like if you only knew. And it's like, instead of like being, you can't be rude to your table, it's like you have to smile. But then you go in the back and your coworker like bumps into you and you're like, watch where you're going. Like you just take it out on somebody like that, you know, like you can, like, you know, and it's like, you know, afterwards you feel horrible, like you don't mean to do it. It's just, it's a part of being a human. Like, you know, I am not trying to call you out and say you're like a bad person. So I just wanted to say like, we've all been there. Like it's a thing. And if you just try to like, you know, have a more moderate approach, a more like wait till you calm down, speak to people, communicate with them before it gets to that point. Like, you know, like you could even eliminate that guilt and not have to use people as your emotional punching bag, whether like on purpose or indirectly, you know? So if Virgo kind of like works on this, what energy could they kind of be aligning with? Ooh, the starfish. I love that one. All right, and then what could they be manifesting as well? If like in the starfish energy, like how could their romantic life change? Let's see. Oh, study. Interesting. That's not what I was expecting. But all right, let's see. I'm gonna read from the book. But with the starfish, it's almost like, it's like the opposite of this earthworm. This earthworm's all curled up in its comfort zone. The starfish is open, like, yeah, like, you know, open to things, open to experience, open. And then with the study, it's like, I mean, that to me is saying like, you will start like looking into like, you will be more open and accepting of your own self and your authenticity and like your feelings and stuff. And you will be willing to like take a look at them with the study. And then it says best possible decision on the back of the deck. So I feel like that just speaks again of like being observant of your own emotions, and like in doing so, like you will have more control, balance, and moderation in your life, and you'll have more like emotional satisfaction. So this is a water energy, so it's like going from earth to water and into like getting into that emotional body a little bit, which I think would be like good for you, just based on this reading. Anyway, I don't know you, but let's see. Starfish. Come on, little starfish. Where are you? Octopus. Starfish. Beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? So when in balance, uplifting and artistic and expressive. Expressive, yes. It's like you will be more willing to express yourself. You will be more willing to kind of care more about what you think of yourself and how you're feeling than what other people think of you. That's funny that that came through, because I was almost like, sometimes like I'm like, where am I getting this from? But I really was like getting a sense about like other people, caring what other people thought. Just being in that comfort zone, that bubble. It's like, so to bring into balance, it says positive friends, and when out of balance, gossips and feels empty. So I feel like that's really cool. Like, you know, like there's like an emotional transition that needs to take place here. And I feel like it's not that hard to do. All you have to do is just kind of like take a look how you're feeling. How do the people around you make you feel? Study like your own emotions. It's just kind of take stock. Like when you feel yourself, just set an alarm on your phone. That's something you could do like for 3 times a day. Be like, oh, how am I feeling today? Like, who was I interacting with? How did I handle this situation? How did I handle this situation? Da, da, da. I don't know. It's tough to like, ooh, let's see. Love, get some, give some, it will cheer your ass up. I'm just going to get some advice for you guys. Just to see, this is like my tough love advice, which can be a little brutal sometimes, but I think it's funny if you let it be. So what's some advice for my Virgos right now? What's some advice Virgo needs to hear? Shame, regret, and guilt. Those are just bullshit. Forgive, let that shit go. Yeah, I was getting something about guilt. And like also regret. It's like, don't have regrets if you didn't speak up, if you let people kind of walk all over you sometimes, if you lash out on people sometimes, like let it go. It's like you can understand now that it was coming from, like you can kind of like figure out what the source is now, and you can kind of like work on that. It's like knowledge is power. That's why I did this reading, to like help empower people to like fix things instead of just, you know, focusing on other people and focusing on like, oh, how do they feel about me? Which we all do too, but this is like a good part of it too. I don't know. I felt really passionate about this reading. So, Virgo, what is some advice for you right now? Some advice for my Virgos. Oh. Ask a fucking expert. Don't rely on your friends or the internet. Listen to a damn professional. Interesting. So maybe like that could be some advice if you have a lot of anger issues and you feel like you would like to talk to somebody about it. Like obviously, like if you feel called to do that, please do. I don't know. I feel like there seems to be a lot of like intense energy here. So it's just something to think about if it applies and it resonates. Oh, time to let go. There's 2 things about letting go. Move the fuck on. And maybe that's something you hold grudges. Like now that came out twice, yeah, let that shit go. It's like you hold on to grudges. And then it's another thing to remember is like the way that we feel about other people always is a mirror of how we feel about ourselves. So when you're like mad at somebody else and you're mad and you can't let it go, it's like you really, it's like unresolved energy within yourself that because if you really, like if you didn't care about this person, you wouldn't be thinking about them all the time and feeling angry. I feel like you hold grudges and resentment. And it's like, remember that saying, like when you drink poison, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It doesn't do anything to the other person. They don't care. They're living their life, most likely. It's like, it's hurting you. It's like bringing your energy down. It's like gunking up your energetic field. And that's all it's doing. Like, let it go. Like this starfish, woo, you know, like open up, let it go, forgive. And just realize like people do fucked up things sometimes. I feel like you just have a lot of resentment that needs to be addressed. And my other 2 readings, I did get messages, but I don't know. I didn't really feel like I don't know. I didn't feel like it was the right thing for this reading. So I'm getting more advice from my advice cards. And if you want to look into like how your person is feeling about you and things like that, I do have pick a cards. And also like I have my zodiac like by sign playlists. So you're Virgo, so look to the Virgo playlist. I have a thoughts, feelings, and intentions video, and also like a what makes you so amazing video. So if you wanted something like that, but I just want to get some advice for you this time. You can recreate yourself at any time in any way. I'm just gonna like, even though I know it's not even now, but I'm just gonna do that. So it's good to know. Oh. Forgive yourself. It's hard to see things clearly when emotions are involved. Yeah, that's a big message here. Forgive yourself, move on, just like embody the new person that you want to be. It's like a lot of times we feel like, oh, I'm this, and we tell ourselves a story like I'm this and I'm that, like, but it's like really like we can decide who we want to be and then do things to make ourselves that way. Like we don't have to, and maybe it's like, again, like what other people think. They'll be like, oh, why are they doing that? That's not them. It's like it's not up to them who you are, you know? You can be whoever you want. If you stay in dreamland too long without finding a way to ground your desires into reality, they're going to stay right up in the clouds with you. So I feel like you could have a tendency to like, you watch a reading, say, and it's like, yeah, you know, I have to start working on this stuff. But then it's like, you don't. Like, you kind of just repeat the same patterns. We're all guilty of this again. So it's like, maybe just try to like do something, like just writing down, get a little notebook, or if you have a calendar, like write down like your overall emotion that day and just kind of track it, and or just why or what people were involved. Like just like a couple, you don't have to write a whole entry, like a whole page. Write a few notes about your day. Put it in your phone, in your calendar, whatever. Fierceness and vulnerability both have a place in you, right? They need to be in balance. I feel like you're going to extremes, one or the other. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. But not maybe in this crazy, like, aggressive way. Not crazy, I'm sorry, but I feel like there's a super aggressive energy here. Time to spice things up. And regardless of how filthy your past is, your future is still spotless. And then it says, trust that spirit will pave the way forward once you're truly following your joy. So if you feel like things are stuck and stagnating for you right now, this just fell off. Rebel. Because fuck it. Yeah, stop caring what other people think. Just focus on yourself right now, how you can be like the most happy and emotionally fulfilled that you can be. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. Archangel Gabriel could be a thing if you're into, like, you know, the archangels or the throat chakra. I would definitely look into that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I really like love doing it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are. Please leave me some love if you like this reading. It helps my channel grow. It means the world to me, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.